Hey guys, it's Etch here again for another tutorial. This time I'm going to go through some of the options on the CDJ. I've actually done this once already, but I've maxed out on my 10-minute limit, so I'm going to try to do it again. I've got my clock here, it's going to beep when time is up. Okay, now I've got a proper camera this time, digital camcorder, but I've been messing around with it. There's some issues with it. One of the things that it does is it goes out of focus quite quickly if another object comes in the way. So you might see sometimes it'll lose focus on certain buttons, then it'll come back. Hopefully it won't happen, but if it does, then you know why that is. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is talk about the different buttons on the CDJ and what they do. If you're not watching this post on the site, then if you click on the link that's in the description, that goes to the mixingguide.com page for this. I've got a picture there, and I've numbered all the different buttons and explained in detail, or well, kind of detail, what they all do. So if I don't get all of this talked about in this 10 minutes here, just go on the site there and check out the description. Okay, so what's happening over here? So the power button, I've just switched it on. The power button's at the back here. Last week we went through the actual settings in the back, so switch the power on. And I'm going to start this way around. Bottom left we have play and pause. Yep. So that's it, play and pause. Next to that we have a cue point. Now cue points are basically, you set a point in a track where you want to go back to really quickly. So when you set the cue point, you go back to it. Now when you're mixing, you tend to want to have the first beat as your cue point. So when you're getting your beat matching right or wrong, then you hit the cue point and you go back to that point again. So for example, if I press play, cue, back at the beginning. Cue, back at the beginning. I can also keep my finger on cue and play it until I let go of the cue button. Yeah. And it carries on playing from the same place. To change my cue point, press play and pause somewhere. Then use the jog wheel. Find the beat that you want. And then press cue and it'll move there. Okay. Track search. Forward. Rewind. You can also forward quite fast as well by actually hitting the button, then going like this. I'm near the end of the song there. Rewind. Back at the beginning of the song. Track search, next track, and so on. Again, I can keep my finger on it. I've got an MP3 CD here, so I've got like hundreds of tracks on there. Actually, not that one, maybe 100. But if I keep my finger on it, and again, do that with the jog wheel, I go through the tracks really quickly. Direction, so I can play forwards or backwards. So I'm playing forwards here. Reverse. Forwards. Reverse. Cue points, how am I doing for time? That can't be right. Oh, it can be right. Alright, I did it for 10 hours, not for 10 minutes. No way. Okay, so cue points. Now basically what cue points do is, well, I've told you what cue points are down there. You've got another 3 over here, you can set another 3. So what you can do is find a place in the track you want to set another cue point. Pause it there. Hit record mode, everything goes red. Press the cue point, so I've chosen letter B. Get out of record mode and got a green B there. So what happens there is when I'm playing something, press B, and it goes back to my cue point. So I can have 3 cue points here and just keep moving around the track. Okay, so down there, or up here even, I've got display. That's where I can see my waveform, my BPMs and so on, the names of my tracks. I've got the text mode button here which shows me the name of the track, or the actual artist name, or the waveform. On top of here I've got time mode and auto cue. Now time mode, basically if I hit that, it just says, it tells me the time that's elapsed. Hit it again, time that's remaining in the track. Auto cue, now if I keep my finger on this button and switch auto cue off, the CDJ will no longer cue for me now. So if I'm pressing play, hitting forwards, it'll just carry on playing the next track without cueing it. If I keep my finger on and switch auto cue on and move forward, the next track will be cued and it'll find the first beat of the bar. It mostly gets it right anyway, and it'll just pause there. These buttons here are for the memory for looping and for cue points, and it stores all this stuff on the SD card which you can load at the front there. I've not worked out how to delete the stored stuff, but I can work that out some other time. Okay, looping. There we go. So how do we set loops here? We've got 2 buttons over here. So let's try and set a loop. Hit that, start the loop. Hit that, end the loop. It won't be that good, but actually it's not bad. It's looping now. You can change the start and end point of the loop by hitting the button again, and then we can move the jog wheel, and we can change the end point. Yeah. Okay. And to get out of the loop, we just press this button here, loop exit, and I'm back in the track. MP3 folder search, go through my tracks in the folder, eject my CD here. There's lock here. If you click on lock, then you can't eject while you're playing. Okay, this bit here, how long have I got? No, I've got 3 minutes, so I'm going to be really quickly here. So this bit here is, this converts this into like the turntable type thing. So normally what happens when you press play and pause is this, the track just starts and stops. Now let's say you want to actually slow it down, like decelerate it or accelerate it, then you use this here. So the top one here will slow it down. And you can set the rate with this, and the bottom one will be the rate at which it accelerates. So right, maximum. Yeah. Cool. And one thing I've noticed though here is you can also pause the track by pressing this here in the middle. But it doesn't always slow down. Why is it not doing it? There, see it's decelerating there. Doesn't always do it though. You've got to hit it at certain places. I wonder if that's a flaw in my CDJ. The other one does that as well. Okay, what else is there? Okay, now the tempo bit. I won't talk about the jog mode because there's not enough time. So that and the actual jog wheel I'll talk about the next time. And if you actually go on the site, I think I've mentioned quite a few things about how this works, the jog wheel, and what vinyl mode does, and what CDJ mode does, and how it changes that. So check the post out on the site. So the last thing I'm going to talk about today, in the last minute I've got left, is the tempo. So here's where you change the tempo. So slow, fast, slow, fast. You can change the actual range of this here with this button here, tempo +6, +10, +16, infinity. So infinity makes that really slow and that really fast. Yeah, wicked. Okay, so, okay, 2 more buttons there. Hopefully I've got time. Yeah, just about. So what happens there is, if I'm changing the tempo here, normally what happens is the speed changes and so does the pitch of the track. So let's say I don't want to change the pitch of the track. I mean, normally what would happen is this. The pitch goes down, pitch goes up. So if I actually don't want the pitch to change, I press the match the tempo button. This time the speed changes without the pitch. Yep. Now the other thing is, now there's a button here called tempo reset. So basically it doesn't matter where this is, tempo reset sets it as if it was at 0. So it takes it back to the original tempo of the track. So if I slow it down and press that, it goes back to the original 0 level. Okay, that was a bit of a rush. I was trying to fit a lot in. But like I said, the post on the site's got a lot more information on it. Next time what I'll do is I'll talk about the mixer as well. And when we start DJing, then I'll actually go into more detail about some of these things. I mean, I need to learn about how some of these buttons work myself. Like how to delete things from the SD card and exactly how looping works. And I think you can actually record loop points, or I don't know, I'll work it out. Yeah, so next week we'll talk about the mixer and how that works. Yeah man, that'll do.